Hi, welcome back to TalonTutorials episode 2, okay? See, I was told by a couple of my friends that actually do exist that I sounded a little bit, like I didn't want to be there, so I'm gonna try better this time. Today we're gonna be learning about GitHub. Now, I love GitHub, okay? I am a really big fan of it. In fact, let's actually go to my GitHub. Oh God, we'll let it alone. But you'll see that the FRC 5411 GitHub that is actually available online is actually really clean looking. We have a lot of really nice naming conventions. Yeah, it's just great, honestly. It took a while for me to, organize it all out, but GitHub is really important and it's something that I'm really passionate about. So what is GitHub? You've probably heard this word a lot, and when I was first learning it, I hated it. I've lost like one or two hackathons to misusing GitHub probably, so it's important that you guys learn how to use it in order to save your code properly. So, when we're editing code together, we can't just save the file on like a .zip and upload it to Google Drive or something. It's gonna get very messy quickly. Like we have people working on the ARM, on the drive, on the intake, all sorts of different things. So, in order to come up with a really nice solution, that's called, well, Git, right? GitHub had made a really nice user interface for people to use. Git. Now, what is Git? Let me open up my sketchpad that I had open. So, let me choose, it's time for me to start copying some of Khan Academy mannerisms. So, let's start with a circle. So, this circle is equal to a commit. Now, what is a commit? You're gonna hear this word a lot, commit. So a commit is basically a change that you made to your code, okay? Slash, I'll put CH for change. Wow, look at the handwriting. Yeah, very legible. I should become a doctor. So let's say we start off with the initial commit. We'll call this init for initial. It's this stuff will be just like getting your basic projects, the basic like template, the skeleton, the framework of your projects up there on the remote online cloud, whatever, right? So this you won't be making any progress, but let's say this line, expresses time, okay, and after some time you have another commit, right? And this one, I don't know, I'll put added then dep. Added vendor dependencies. This is like where you may have added vendor dependencies such as CTRE stuff like that. Just like libraries that your code needs to run or APIs. Now let's see, some more time passes. I don't know, you do whatever else, whatever else, whatever else. But here is where Git gets powerful, right? These commits can branch off. Now what does branch off mean? Branch off means this version of the code is gonna look like this. Now what is this, okay? Basically, I am trying to explain Git to you guys in a very visual way, okay? So let's say this commit is the last commit that you have on like just management and stuff, like adding the vendor deps, removing the README, or adding a README, whatever it may be. Let's say you're done with that. Now you actually want to start programming the drive, the intake, the whatever, Z, Y, X, whatever it may be, right? But you guys are a group of people, right? We can have multiple people editing the code at the same time, otherwise there's going to be massive conflicts in the code. So let's say this branch is D for drive, this one is A for ARM, right? And right now these branches, um, they have this latest code, this one. Um, Hold on, let me draw a really nice equal sign here. Yeah. So this code is equal to this code, this commit, right? Basically, the newest version of the code is gonna be branched off into two things, into two different sections, right? And let's say I'm a person that's working on the drive. I will start adding more stuff to the drive, more stuff, but it does not affect this branch. By the way, if I didn't make it clear, the branches are where these little curved lines are, where things branch off, right? So, this is a branch. This is a branch. So, when I affect this branch, it does not affect the ARM branch or even this main branch. Let me put M for main, because that is the main branch. So let's say I keep adding more code to my drive. Here I maybe, I don't know, init arms, init arms, init arms. So then we have, I don't know, and then let's say they had some more commits or more changes to the code, finished drive. Oh God, wow, that's really nice handwriting. And let's say the person in the arm does the same thing, blah, blah, blah. They do maybe something a little bit different in the arm code, blah, blah, blah. Now what happens? Okay, let me actually erase this text here so I have a little bit more real estate to work with. That's a Khan Academy reference, just saying. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. How about, pretty sure I can just, boop. Oh, and I just deleted the entire thing. That was not good. Okay, basically, let's say that we have the newest version of the code, okay, which is this. Let's say I'm happy with the drive. Everyone's happy with the drive is working. We no longer need this branch. And let's say everyone's happy with the ARM code as well. The ARM is working, we no longer need this branch. Let me choose a different color. Let's choose green. Basically, I can merge these branches now. Now, I can get this code and it goes all the way down here, back to this main branch. Same with this thing. It goes all the way down here, back to the main branch. So now let me draw this in green for the new commits that are here. So now you can see that this main branch has the most up-to-date code from these two branches. Now I get it. This is really confusing to look at and understand. And I'll actually get more in-depth into it. It's basically just a more complex way that you can manage your code, but it's, you guys got it. I believe in you. I'm sure you guys are pretty smart. So, let's get to it. Here on GitHub, I can make a repository first, but let me actually make the code base first. Because most teams probably already have a code base, perhaps. So I'm going to open up WPIlib. We'll let that open. And, oh, I open up the documentation. That's on me. I meant to open up the VS Code. So let's do Control-Shift-P. Create a new project. Yeah, or if you guys already have a project, you can just skip through this step. I'll make it a template, Java, command, robot skeleton. Or you know what? Yeah, we'll do command robot skeleton. Now select the base folder. That's going to be our desktop. Let's call this git demo. Yup, 5411. Yep, new window. Let's close this. And there we go. Here is our basic project. I'm just going to let it initialize a little bit. And in that time, let me show you guys how to get GitHub Desktop working. So if you guys don't have this stuff installed, or you want to go to episode 1 again. But yeah, we'll do add a local existing repository from your hard drive. Now this is not an existing repository, but I found like the fastest way to initialize a repository using FRC projects. Honestly, all I have to do is just do add existing repository, choose the folder in which you have all the code in, and then say create a repository here instead. I just like to do that. Okay, it's just easier because there's this weird thing where if there are already files inside of a folder, WPIlib won't, generate the project there, and it's just an entire thing. So yeah, go to your desktop or wherever you have your Git demo, wherever you saved it, or whatever else you called your project. And here we'll select Git demo and do select folder. Okay, so once we chose the Git demo, or once we chose whatever folder, we do create a repository here instead. Okay, you can give it a description. My demo of GitHub for TalonTutorials. You can actually initialize this repository with a README if you want, but I'm pretty sure WPLib comes with a README. We don't need any licenses. WPLib has its own. So now let's create this repository. And now you'll see all the files that are here are popping up. Oh, my goodness, my computer is notoriously slow. All the files that were there are, popping up here on the side. So let me just click cancel on this now. Because, I don't know, for some reason, GitHub Desktop never actually closes that menu. So after you create a new repository, all of this should show up. Now, you click publish repository. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to keep this private. If you want, you can add it to an organization, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep this as a personal project. Now, Now while that's publishing, I'm gonna go on Google Chrome. And let's actually check, did it work properly? Let me give you guys a hint. It did. So let's go to github.com and let's go to my personal profile. Yes. So I click here, your repositories. Git demo, there it is. So you'll see all this code here is in fact for the basic template. So the first thing they want to do is whenever you create a project, just commit it to GitHub as your initial commit. In fact, I didn't even name the commit, but you can see GitHub did a pretty cool thing on just naming it for me, initial commit, like how I was talking about. Now let's do some changes to Git. Okay, let's say I'm like, okay, I want some vendor deps. I want to be using a drive, perhaps. So let's go on Google Chrome. Let's go to vendor deps wplib, third-party libraries. Let me just go copy a random link just for demonstration purposes. There we go. Manage vendor libraries, install new libraries online, paste this URL, and just yes, get through all that. And you will see that sorry, .json is initialized. Now, here's something that I really want to emphasize. Try not to use the source control in Visual Studio Code. It has caused issues in our teams. I'm not exactly sure why, but sometimes when we commit, like, it doesn't actually publish it, even though we push the changes and everything. It's very weird. So let's just use GitHub Desktop. Try not to use the source control here. So now they can see here, it tells us that, oh, you made a revlib.json because we imported those libraries. And indeed, we did make this because we, manage vendor deps. So then we do created vendor deps. Okay. And I'm gonna maybe put like a small description, added revlib. Okay. And now I'm gonna commit this to the main branch. Here's something incredibly, 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 incredibly important. One person should only be working on a branch at a time. So, despite our team actually having to do this last year, you shouldn't have multiple people working on a branch. It's not a good idea. It causes a whole bunch of conflicts. So here we see that we are on the main branch. So I'm just going to do commit to main, okay? Because this is the code that's going to be on all branches, no matter if you're making the arm, the drive, whatever it may be. So here, let's say I accidentally did it. I could undo that. But if I go on the web right now, I probably shouldn't have closed GitHub. That wasn't very wise of me. But um, if I were to go on the web right now, I would not see my new code on there. Okay. So let me do Control Shift T. Okay, never mind. Let's open up Google Chrome. So let's open this up again. Let's go back to my repositories. It's good. At least I can maneuver around GitHub a little bit more, a little more practice, I guess. So as you can see, after this initial commit, I can see it's only one commit, even though I pressed that commit button. Here is something that is so incredibly important. I am going to share this video with other people on my team, okay? But what you want to do is press push origin. This will get all your changes onto the internet, okay? So you can actually use Git offline as well. So let's say you're doing a competition in the pit, you want some changes, but you can't use the internet, you can use offline Git. It's pretty cool actually. So yeah, after we've pushed the changes, now if I go here and I reload, you will see created vendor deps. Pretty cool, right? And now let's start creating our branches. Okay. Let me have that sketchpad.io open. Really recommend this. I've used this for teaching a lot. So let me get my white pen. Because I have fragile little eyes and I don't like seeing a full plane of white. So, oh God, please don't take that out of context. So, now in our Git demo, let's say that we are done with the, I don't know, the configurations, or we just want to add a vendor dep and that's it. Now let's create a new branch. All right, let's do new branch. Let's name it drive. Let's say I want to start working on the robot drive, right? And make sure you click publish branch, okay? And now let's create another new branch, and let's say, arm. Yes, that is a reasonable name. Okay, publish branch. Now, I'm going to be doing some programming in this video, but you guys don't have to exactly know what I'm doing. You just have to understand that I'm making changes to the code and such. So, let me go back on the main branch. So, let's go on the internet. Wait, did I push this one? Yeah, I did publish that branch. Okay, that's good. It's become instinctual for me now at this point. Which it should become instinctual for you guys as well. Instinctual, yeah. So now you can see that the branches here, ARM, Drive, and others, right? And you can see that they are no different from the main branch because we took all the code that's on the main branch and we just put them in these, all the commits in the main branch, and we just copy them over to ARM and Drive. So now we can start working in different, branches, and each person can have their own branch. So let's say I am a different person now. My name is no longer Taha, it's now Timmy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really creative with names. So let's say we're now on the drive branch and we're supposed to create a drivetrain for the robot, right? So I don't know, I create a folder here. Oh, sorry, I don't do that. I go in GitHub Desktop, I switch branches first, so now I'm on the drive. Though, if you haven't switched branches, you can actually, once you do switch branches, it'll give you an option. Do you want to bring your changes to this new branch, or do you want to leave it at your old branch? So it's okay if you've been doing a whole bunch of work on the main branch, as long as you haven't committed. So yeah, I'm just gonna go on the drive though, because good practice makes good perfect. Yeah. So, let's say I create a folder called subsystems. I actually should have probably done this in my main before I made those two branches, but it's not really a huge issue. So let's create a new file here, or sorry, create a new class or command, and I'm just gonna do subsystem, and I'm gonna call this drive, okay? And here, I might initialize a couple of motors, back, right, blah, 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 I'm writing some code, whatever it may be. Let's save this, and let's just say I'm done, okay? Timmy, he initialized these motors, great job, Timmy. Okay. I know I'm talking to myself in the third person, but that's just how it is, I guess. So, here I would have a nice commit name, okay? I can't emphasize this enough. A nice commit name. You have no idea how long it's like. Let's say like, I don't know, 3 months in the future. You guys have made some bad mistakes in your code and you have to revert to some commit. You're like, oh, I want to revert to this commit, but you never properly described the name. So then perhaps somebody has to go through all the commits to see, oh, which code is the good one, instead of just reading the title. So put good names. I'm gonna do initialized motor. Oh, I can't spell. Init motors and created drive subsystem. To do, create a proper drivetrain. Only motors are initialized. Okay. My God, am I missing something? Yeah, I missed the I. Oops. Okay. Now I'm gonna do commit to the drive. Let's push origin. And now, here's what's gonna be really cool. If we go through back to here, right? Let's go to main. We'll see, yep, we don't see any initialized motors commit name there. If we go inside the ARM, we don't see it there either. But if we go inside the drive, we'll see initialized motors and create a drive subsystem. Create a proper drivetrain, only motors are initialized. So that's what I'm supposed to do, for example. So, let's say I keep working on the drive and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not going to create any more commits for the sake of time. But, let's now commit this, or let's just merge this to the ARM branch, okay? And how do we merge branches? So let's open up GitHub Desktop. Let's select the main branch. Go down here, choose a branch to merge into main, and we'll do drive. What this means is the drive is complete, even though it isn't. Let's just say that it is complete for, for the sake of this video, like you're supposed to do more commits and I don't know, initialize the drive chain, all that. But yeah, let's say it's complete. Now we want to merge the drive with the main. We do create a merge commit, and then we want to again do push origin. Now if we reload, you'll see drive is not going to be changed, but in the main branch, that code, that the most recent code, is now here. So basically, what happened was we worked in separate. And now I'm now Taha again. If I didn't make that clear, Timmy is long gone. He's patting himself on the back or something. I don't know. So yeah. So after we merged drive into main, you can see that all the changes in our drive are now on this main. Now here's some very important Git tips. Okay, or GitHub tips. Okay. First off, don't merge into main unless you have tested it on the robot and it works. Okay. You also have branches of branches. So for example, my drive could have like a tested and an untested branch if I wanted to. And we could merge into the into the drive when we're done, and then we merge the drive into the main. So really the possibilities are endless, but I think the best way for you guys to learn is to actually go out there and do it yourself. Learn how to use Git. Now, if you here, let me go through some extra stuff here. So protect this branch. This main branch is unprotected. So I'm gonna do protect. Require a pull request before merging. This is a pretty standard one. Require approval. And let's do create. Now, what does all of this mean? Oh, let me use my password. You know what? Okay, great. Now someone's gonna write a hashcat algorithm for the number of characters in my password, and there you go. I just doxed myself, but it's okay. So, on GitHub, on the Git demo, right? Now we have this protected branch. Now, what does this mean? It means that if I had if I had people working on other branches and they wanted to merge into main, their code would not be on the main branch once they pushed it, because it goes through something called a pull request. Admins of the repository, also known as repos, this is a repository, by the way, if I didn't make that clear. Admins of this repository will be like, oh, this person is trying to merge into main, I will do accept. I accept the merge. In fact, there's kind of like a diagram here. You can see like a little merge. You see like that might be the main branch. They're merging their code here. So yeah, it's like a pull request. So now let me go through a couple more terminology. When you commit your code and then you push it, pushing it means you get it on the web. But if you want to refresh your code, you would do fetch, okay? And in this case, there's no code on there, so I'm fetching nothing. So, but let's say there was some new code on there. Instead of saying fetch here, it's gonna say pull origin, and then that means stuff from GitHub or on the cloud is gonna come to your computer. So it's basically fetching or like getting the changes of the internet onto your computer. But yeah, that's pretty much the basics of GitHub. I recommend you guys tinker with it, learn how to use it. It's actually a really interesting tool. I've been using it for quite a while, and yeah, it's just you gotta learn it, learn how to use it for FRC, and I may have a more advanced Git video coming out maybe a little bit in the future where I'll talk about how to revert commits and stuff like that. But from now on, Google is gonna be our best friend. So, thank you for watching. I'm sorry if the video was long, but this is a very important topic that a lot of people should learn and know how to do. And yeah, that's pretty much it. My name is Tahanil Farushan, Tahanil, and from Team 54119105, thank you for watching our video. We're Prosper Engineering, and please leave a like if you liked the video. If not, leave a comment. Let me know what I can improve on. Thank you.